Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to present the problem side of this presentation. So as we know, in present day, we are surrounded by millions of AI agents, and they all connect to each other. But there's this one major gap: is they can't prove who they are. So right now, an agent can call another agent's API, but we have no way to verify its identity or know its past behavior or just understand whether it's actually a trustworthy agent or not. And as the number of agents are increasing exponentially, this becomes a real risk. Anyone can spin up an agent that looks legitimate on the surface, but we have no way of identifying whether it's credible or just any way to identify its or validate its performance. So this is the core problem: is how do we safely choose an agent when we can't verify who it is or how it has behaved in the past? And this is where our solution comes in.
Okay, so basically the solution you've thought of is Sageo. Sageo essentially solves that problem by adding a trust and discovery layer on top of Google agent to agent. So currently, agents can communicate with each other, but there's no way for them to actually verify and audit. There's no way to verify and audit these interactions. So we're going to be adding that layer to Sageo. Essentially, every message that goes through Google A2A is going to be signed and timestamped and essentially recorded on-chain as proof of the agentic interaction, so that it essentially brings agent interactions on-chain with its history, with its context, with its behavior, sitting on-chain in a verifiable and discoverable manner. And how it's going to work, this is sort of a high-level thought of how we had planned to integrate Sageo into current A2A workflows. Multi-agent orchestration workflows currently call other agents through Google A2A, Agent Broker, using, actually, let me present the diagram instead, it'll be easier to understand. So agents communicate with other agents through A2A by sort of using that agent ID to identify agents that's sent to the agent broker. And then the agent broker finds the other agent, routes the request, routes the responses, and brings it back to the agent that's calling it. And so if agent A wants to call agent B, it sends an A2A request, which is received by the broker. And then the broker forwards it to the respective agent and then brings it back. Sageo will basically wrap that A2A flow. It'll act as a sort of a proxy between the agent and the broker. It helps that it'll intercept exactly what is being sent between each in each agent interaction, and it helps that essentially enables Sageo to keep track. It enables Sageo to read, sort of track and verify every single agent-to-agent interaction. So it'll record information like interaction hash, timestamp, agent ID, task name, status code, etc., things like those, and put it on chain.
Yeah, so how does this leverage MOI? So basically, on a high level, it ties right into MOI's P2P architecture, giving every agent an on-chain identity and recording auditable provenance in its context object. So like concretely, we treat each AI agent as a MOI participant with its own like context object. And since MOI is already participant-centric and context-aware, state lives with the user and not in a kind of global smart contract. So to kind of leverage this, we attach two asset types to each participant, which is kind of outlined more in our design doc, but we have an agent profile, which is the agent's MOI identity plus its A2A ID and basic metadata, and then an append-only list of interaction records. And that stores kind of the hashes, timestamps, and counterparty IDs for each request and response. And then we have like logic for this as well with Sageo identity logic for registration and then interaction logic for logging. And then this makes sure that every A2A call is verifiable. It's a signed entry in the agent's context object, and it doesn't change kind of the business logic of the agent. And the way we kind of think about it is MOI is the SSL layer, the decentralized SSL layer for agent discovery. So instead of TLS certifications for specific websites, we have MOI native identities and then interaction proofs for the agents. Then this gives orchestrators and then also users kind of a neutral layer to verify who they're talking to and how the agent has behaved over time using the primitives on MOI.
So now that you understand how Sageo works in a high level overview, so here's our plan. So our core functionality includes an agent identity along with signed and timestamped metadata for every A2A request and response that's provided. And then an on-chain registry of all the agents that are there mapped to their corresponding A2A IDs and capability profiles. And then, of course, we have interaction proofs on-chain enabling cryptographic verification of any past behavior. So our feature set currently involves agent discovery, capability profiles, and automatic agent registration, alongside verifiability for every interaction that takes place on-chain. And finally, for the UI and UX, we provide a simple dashboard, sort of like Etherscan, where users can sort of view the agents, view their capabilities, and then complete interaction history as well. And complete interaction history to sort of look at their different agents and figure out which is the one that they want to use. So you can sort of think of it as like a trust explorer, but for the agent ecosystem instead.